On today's show,
Russell Westbrook does it again. The Hawks shock LeBron and the Cavs twice. And we debate whether Dame makes All-NBA.
Ernie Johnson joins us to play a game called Circle of Trust when it comes to his co-hosts.
And Lance be dancing in a brand new edition of Weekend Whoopsies.
It's Monday, April 10th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to the starters presented by Jack Daniels Tennessee Honey. Whether you're listening to the podcast, joining us live right now on NBA TV, or a little bit later on YouTube, we're very, very happy to have you. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tess Mellis.
Not one, not two, but 3
days left in the regular season. Just 3 days left in the regular season. Thanks, D-Wade.
To his right, it's the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis. Lily, and last, certainly not least, over yonder, it is the big bearded one, Straight Kirby. Hey, TK, what's up?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at hashtag the starters. And guys, Russell Westbrook did it. He's going to average a triple-double for the season. And along the way, he also broke Oscar Robertson's record for triple-doubles in a season, notching his 42nd yesterday. And when Russ was asked about those records, he had quite the Westbrook response.
My motto is why not, and I always stick by it, regardless of what people say, what is possible, what's not possible. I continue to think why not and continue to strive to be the best I can be.
That's right, why not is Westbrook's motto, and honestly, why not? It's working for him, and it brings us to today's question. What are some other NBA mottos, like for instance, Tony Allen is always yelling, "First team!" So I'd have to guess that's probably his, while I'm sure Kawhi Leonard's is something simple like, "I play basketball," and we know that Lee Ellis's is, "That'll do." But we want to hear from you, so let us know on Twitter. What are some other NBA mottos? Send us your best tweets to hashtag the starters. We'll hear from you a little bit later.
All right, get those tweets in. We got a fun show tonight. Ernie Johnson is going to join us live in studio. And we got a brand new batch of Weekend Whoopsies, of course. But we start with a little true or false. It's very, very simple. Trey's got a few true or false questions for us. And we'll debate whether they're true or false. First one.
All right, after a couple of false starts, Russell Westbrook notched that record 42nd triple-double yesterday against the Nuggets. And that came just a game after he locked in a season-long triple-double average. Crazy stuff, but the MVP race ain't over till it's over. So, true or false, Russell Westbrook has sealed his MVP win.
For me, it's false. I think the total package of James Harden is just a little bit nicer. Russell Westbrook and James Harden, their numbers are basically a wash, and we can get into those in a second, but I think James Harden's team achievements are more important. Let me give you their two stat lines, their two achievements. You tell me who's better, okay? Player A, 31.9 points per game, 10.7 rebounds, 10.4 assists. He's leading the 6th seed in the Western Conference and the 16th best offense. Player B, 29.3 points, 8.1 rebounds, 11.2 assists, the 2nd best offense, and the 3rd seed in the Western Conference. You tell me. It's me. It's James Harden, especially because Russ is doing it on 5 more shots. No,
it comes down to 7 or 8 wins, is what you're telling me.
No. But also, Russell Westbrook's the numbers are a wash. Really, Russell Westbrook has 2.5 more points on 5 more shots. Harden could get those, and yes, obviously Westbrook goes and gets those rebounds, and that's the way he plays, and he's leading a team that not many were expecting to make the postseason. I get that, but I think the numbers when you actually look at them and you take the words triple double out of the equation and just actually look at the numbers, they're really, really similar. And then Harden's sort of team achievements and the fact that he's leading the 2nd best offense, I think that's important.
Where do you fall on this? Have you been persuaded?
Yeah, I think it's true. I think now a lot of people watching, not just what he's done over the last weekend, it's over the last couple of weeks. He's put up incredible numbers, but it's also been these Jordan-like takeovers at the end of the game where his team's down double digits with only a couple of minutes to go, and he just refuses to let his team lose. That, to me, is standing out as much as all the triple-doubles. We've been talking about that all season, the numbers, and great. But he's got his team. They could finish with 48 wins, which will be an incredible achievement for this team considering they lost Kevin Durant last season. Yeah, he has been stat padding a little bit, but overall, what Westbrook is doing for his team, especially when he sits, you notice it as well, has just been incredible. And I think these heroic moments, the game winner yesterday, the high-flying dunks, they just stand out a little bit more than James Harden. Not taking anything away from what James Harden's done, but I think that catches the voters' eyes a little more.
And the timing of it matters. That's the truth. These guys have been 1 and 2, back and forth all season long, and I think Westbrook's just been a little bit more dominant over this last couple of weeks. All these wins. He just hit a game-winning 3 to give him 50 points on the night and another triple-double over a team who was in a playoff race.
Yeah.
He just completely eliminated the Nuggets. That's just huge. That's
And they were
not
down-
something you see very often.
Again, down double digits with a couple of minutes to go. These aren't just sort of blowout wins either way. He is just getting
He
his
scored the
team-
final 15 points.
Yeah,
for his
18
team.
of the last 21
I
and
know.
got the assist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it-
he's done it a couple times now. Yeah.
If the voters are going to be swayed by the media and the storylines and Russ's great ending, this is a great time to obviously do it. It is timed perfectly because votes have to be in on Friday, and
Right.
according to one man who works here, Brent Berry.
sources.
Brent Berry, he said it on TV, so it's not
right.
really a source. But he said his vote has to be in on Friday, so it's good timing,
Yeah.
undoubtedly. I just think if you look throughout the 80 games, the numbers are so similar, and I think the team's sort of achievements help out James's case.
Well, James Harden and Daryl Morey, obviously the Rockets GM, I mean, they've sort of been trying to make their case, I think, over the
Yeah,
last couple
a
days.
lot.
Within the media, one quote from James Harden on the MVP race. He says, "I thought winning is what this is about. Period." I'm not going to get in depth with all that, but I thought winning was the most important thing. If you set your team up in a position to have a chance at the ultimate goal, that's the most important thing. That's fine, but doesn't, in a weird way, maybe make even better case for
Steph Curry.
Kawhi Leonard or Steph Curry
Yeah.
when it
Or
comes
Kevin
to that.
Durant.
He's
Yeah.
got more wins than
Yeah.
Westbrook, who a lot of us are pitting him against, but not than Kawhi and Curry. Yeah.
And then there's only, again, I mean, Steph Curry, we talked about, he's not having the same season he had last year, but his first MVP season, it's right along there. And they're going to win 67 again.
Curry's not winning MVP though.
No, he's not going to. Of
So,
course
I mean,
not. No.
yeah.
Well,
All right.
KD would have been the guy on that team.
If he didn't get hurt,
Yeah.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Trey, next one.
All right, on Wednesday, the Cavs destroyed the Celtics, and everybody thought they'd flip the switch. Then they went out and lost to the Hawks twice, including yesterday when they had a 26-point lead heading into the fourth quarter. Now, reports indicate LeBron, Kyrie, and Love won't be playing tonight, so true or false, the Cavs will regret sitting the big three.
False. They're fine. They played badly over the weekend. That loss yesterday was terrible. What the Cavs need more than anything right now is just rest and get healthy for Saturday or Sunday whenever they start their playoff run. Because even if they finish second, and even if they don't have home court advantage in the conference finals, the Boston Celtics still have to prove they can get to the conference finals.
right.
And even if that happens, then LeBron and the Cavs are still favourite, no matter what. So this right now, this little stretch, it hasn't been great. Yesterday I was down at the Fortress. I witnessed it in person. They looked gassed. LeBron looked really, really tired.
You stayed till the end.
I did
You're a
stay
good
till-
fan. I mean, that's pretty crazy.
well, I was
Cavs up-
working, so I wasn't cheering for anyone.
But Cavs up 26 entering the fourth. A lot of people must have left.
I couldn't believe LeBron came out to start that fourth quarter. I thought, this is crazy. Why not rest him right now? And if
Right,
you need to
right.
bring him back in, you've got 4 or 5 minutes minimum where he can get some rest. But that didn't happen. But what I did notice was the Cavs were taking some really lazy shots. Their legs weren't in it when the Hawks were on that surge. And that, to me, is a clear indication of fatigue.
Look at LeBron's last 5
Oh.
games. This guy's in his 14th
I know.
NBA season. He's gone to 6 straight finals, and we're near the end of the regular season here, and he's playing 50-plus minutes in some games. You know, over the weekend, 41 and 46 against the Hawks, both in losses. That's what's insane. I mean,
Yeah,
I
he
agree
would have
that-
played 50 if he didn't foul out yesterday.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And yeah, well, the Cavs are very upset about some of the officiating
Yeah.
in Sunday's game. But that's what's. I mean, I think if Coach Lue could go back a month and a half ago, and rest some of his guys, then, especially LeBron, he would do it. But now, in a weird way, he's deciding, well, I'll just do it now, I guess, for these maybe a couple games here. He might get the last game off as well. We'll see.
The Cavs took care of the Celtics last week in Boston, so they have that under their belt. They know that
got
they
the
can
time,
go
yeah.
in there if they need to. They can go in there. They need rest. I mean, I think they look at the team they're going to play in the NBA Finals in their mind, and the Golden State Warriors. Lots of rest happening over there. You want a little bit of sort of a demarcation here. Just break up the regular season in the playoffs with
Yeah.
a little bit of rest for them. You're right. It should have happened a little bit earlier, but
Yeah.
I guess they're just going to get it now.
Too late now. All right, Trey, final one.
Saturday night was Dame time as Damian Lillard set a career high and an all-time Blazers franchise high with 59 points in a win against the Jazz. Lillard's been on fire since the break, averaging nearly 30 points per game, but he was snubbed from the All-Star team, so true or false, Damian Lillard will make All-NBA.
This man just gets snubbed.
I think it's false, which is crazy
Yeah.
after a guy just scores 59 against a very good team in the Jazz, one of the best defensive teams in the league, in a game where his team needed him to win. I mean, they were still in a playoff race, obviously, against the Nuggets. They're now in there, the Blazers. But to go 59, hit the 9 threes, everything at the line, that was something special, that game. He should have had 61, missed 2 free throws at the end there when he went
Practice
for
your
3.
free throws.
But I think it's false because there are just so many good guards in today's game. We know Westbrook and Harden are locks. They're on the All-NBA first team. And then it's 4 spots for Steph, Isaiah, John Wall, Chris Paul could be still in the mix despite some injuries. DeMar DeRozan. Lowry's probably out because of his late injuries. Maybe Klay Thompson because of his team success. I mean, can Dame go ahead of some of those guys? I don't think
No,
he can, which is nuts.
You can lock in Isaiah and Steph Curry. They're in as well for sure. I think there's only 2 spots that you can talk about. And
So then you bump Dame Lillard ahead of Wall,
Chris Paul,
DeRozan,
Yeah.
Chris Paul. That's going to be the
There has to be some sort of tiebreakers amongst all these great guards, and Wins is probably going to be one of them.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
And he left his run a little bit too late, like he did last year, because they were 24 and 35. It looked like they were going to miss the playoffs. They've gone on this incredible run, but I think it's going to be too late.
We will see. Let's hear what the people think out there. Jump on Twitter, hashtag the starters, true or false. When we come back, super excited. NBA royalty.
Wow.
Ernie Johnson is live in studio, and he's got the books. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the starters. Welcome back to the starters, where we are ecstatic to be joined by Emmy Award-winning broadcaster and now author.
Oh, I know. Isn't that crazy?
Ernie Johnson Jr.
Man, it's great to be with you guys.
Appreciate you coming on.
Oh, come on. It's my pleasure.
You've been absolutely everywhere
Yeah, it's been
over the
nuts,
last
man.
week.
Wrapping up the frequent flyer.
I mean, you've got the new book there. You got it in front of you,
Oh,
unscripted.
yeah, I bring gifts here.
Oh, yes.
This one's to Skeets.
Oh,
There we go.
hey, we're handing them out at Christmas.
Without question, Taz.
Thank you, sir.
Unscripted, the unpredictable moments that make life extraordinary.
Lee.
Thank you.
Ernie Johnson Jr., as I said, now an author.
And the guy with the shoe game and beard game without equal.
Wow, personalized.
I got
Yes,
the greatest
sir,
compliment of my
man.
life
Yes,
just
right.
now.
We
Yes,
appreciate
indeed.
you reading. How did the book tour go? I know it's sort of still ongoing here.
Yeah.
But how did it go?
It was unbelievable. The whole thing has been pretty surreal. We finished the Final Four, went to New York the next day, Bristol the day after that, where we had 17 interviews, radio and TV combined. Bob Lee, who coined the term car wash
Right.
up there, I passed him in the hallway at one point. I was on his show later, and he said, "How many?" And I said, 17. He said, "New record." So
Wow, there you go.
that was great. And then to Dallas on Thursday, Chicago Friday, and Atlanta on Saturday. And there were book signings all along the way. And it's just been so much fun to do it, and great to meet people. And I've seen these book signings and readings and things before, and to be able to do that and share a small portion of the book. And it's what I found, guys, and I was almost embarrassed at first. It was I wrote every word of this book, but when you read it to somebody and it's something that's so personal, I had trouble getting through a little of
Really?
it. And especially when I look out and I see somebody in the second row who's kind of doing this, and I'm like, oh. and I actually did that. I said, folks, you would think a guy who wrote this would be able to read it,
Right. Yeah.
But it really is. There's a lot of stuff in here that's really important to me and hits me right here. So, man, it's been a wonderful adventure to write.
Good thing we were thinking about asking you to read one of the passages on here, but
No, thank you. I'll read the title for you. That's about it. I can get through that without turning to mush.
All right, well, we're going to ask you, since we have you here.
By the way, I love these mugs. These
yeah.
are there bigger mugs anywhere in the world than this thing? I've got to use 2 hands. But those are nice. I can't wait to.
Those are Shaq-sized
Yeah,
mugs.
I cannot wait to walk out of here with that.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, look, we're going to ask you a series of questions
All right.
to test how much you trust your inside the NBA coworkers, okay?
I love this.
So for every question, Ernie, you got to answer either Shaq, Kenny, or Chuck, and we got some cutout heads here of the guys to help you out.
Just in case you were missing them.
Yeah, and these are obviously going to be pretty fun. So first one, Ernie, who would you trust to throw out the first pitch at the Braves home opener? Who's got the best arm, maybe, of the guys?
I guess I would have to pick
Kenny.
the Jet, even though he does not have a great arm.
Okay.
But he did throw out the first pitch at Dodger Stadium once.
He's got some experience.
Yeah, so he has some experience, but and I think it almost got there. So I'd have to go him.
No faith in the other
Definitely
guys.
not that one, and definitely not that
All
one.
right, okay. Next one here. This is a fun one. Who would you trust to babysit your grandchildren? You're going out for the night. Hey, so-and-so, you're in charge. How many great kids do you have?
2.
Okay, who's watching them?
This is a tough choice.
Oh, this is
I think
really
he's calling
tough.
another babysitter.
I'm gonna. I'm going
Okay.
Shaq.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Shaq is, because he is just the world's biggest kid.
Right.
They would get along great together, and there's no telling what the house would look like when we got back.
Okay, all right. Next one here. Who would you trust from your inside the NBA coworkers to bartend your Christmas party?
Not him.
Right.
No, you know what? I've actually seen him in action when we've been out on the road
Yep.
during the conference finals, and a lot of times Charles afterwards, will step behind the bar,
Right.
And he's such a great people person, and so he has experience. So yes, I'll give it to Charles.
Okay, there you go. Next one. Who would you trust to do play-by-play for a PGA Tour event? Obviously, have some experience.
Yeah, I would. Again, I have to go Charles. Yeah,
Just because of the knowledge.
The knowledge of the game, not the knowledge of the swing or how the swing works or how to grip the golf club, but he loves the game.
Right.
And he loves every sport. I mean, and so, yeah, I would definitely go here. This guy actually showed up at a charity golf tournament with persimmon woods that somebody had given to him like decades ago, and he'd never picked them up. So he went to a charity event, and he shows up with real woods, and everybody laughed at him. So it would not be Kenny.
Okay, a couple more here. Who would you trust? I like this one. Who would you trust to drive you to the airport? You got a flight to catch. Which of the three guys?
The Diesel.
Oh, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
Have you seen what he drives? Have you seen the variety of
True.
Oh yeah, and so, and he knows he needs to get there, and if there's traffic, he just goes around it because his vehicles can get past
Or
anything.
over them. It's like a monster truck.
Yeah,
Something.
it really is.
All right, two more here. Who would you trust to win a talent show? Who would you trust to win a talent show? And it could be anything.
win a talent
yeah,
show.
So, I guess who do you think's the most talented? Something weird.
Well, Shaq can rap.
Right?
Yeah.
Kenny has some musical skills, and of
Okay.
course
Sure,
he
yeah.
has his daughter Kayla Brianna,
Right.
who's in the business.
Right? I love how much
Shaq.
thought you're putting
No,
in there. Okay,
Shaq,
yeah.
Shaq would win a talent show.
Didn't he win
Okay.
that one with Steve Nash?
Oh, yeah, that's possible. Yeah, all right. Final one here. Maybe the weirdest one.
Oh, gee.
Who would you trust to apply sunscreen to your back?
Gotta stay safe out there.
Let's see.
Nothing healthy but a tan.
You know
Okay?
what?
I feel like
It
you're
would-
not.
It would have to be true.
Trey Kirby!
I'm in. Whenever. I'll just accompany you to the beach anytime you go.
Just the thought, and whoever came up with that last question, out of here right now.
The Starters producer,
Yeah, sorry
Matty
about
O,
that.
for sure. Ernie, we can't thank you enough
Oh,
for
no.
coming on.
Thank you
From
guys.
the
I
book. Again,
appreciate
guys,
it very much.
unscripted, go to ErnieJohnsonJr.com. Pick this bad boy up.
Thank you much.
Thanks
I
so much.
appreciate
Thanks very
you.
much,
Appreciate
Ernie.
you
Got
coming
it,
on.
guys.
Thanks a lot.
Lots more
Always a
still to
pleasure.
come
Thanks,
here
man.
on the Starters when we come back. We got a brand new batch of Weekend Whoopsies. Don't go anywhere.
The Starters on NBA TV is brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey, proud partner of the NBA. Do your friends proud. Please drink responsibly.
We asked you guys what are some other NBA mottos. You hit us up on Twitter, hashtag the Starters. Trey, you got a few of the best answers.
Yeah, some good answers. This one comes from Prince, who says, "Ball don't lie," by Rasheed Wallace, a classic. Lady says, "Dion Waiters and one." He's the new king now that Carlos Boozer's out of the mix. And now Nacho Picante blasts that Rolando Blackman with the confidence, baby, confidence! All good.
Great suggestions, guys. Okay, guys, let's get to some Weekend Whoopsies. The NBA delivered once again.
DeMar DeRozan puts up a shot, and he catches it. Oh,
Hey.
it's a travel. No, it's not called. Puts it right in.
What?
Smart. Smart move.
They didn't catch it.
Great oop. Sticking with DeRozan. Same game. He's going bowling. Takes down 2 Heat defenders.
Turns, no one is there.
Yeah. He's like, where'd they go? I was like, oh, I guess I'll just score here. Great. No problem.
This one's fantastic. The New York Knicks season, not so good. And it gets worse. Kyle Quinn hits Marshall Plumlee so hard. Mason and Miles felt it, and he gets Marc Gasol right there.
What a windup.
Oh, his face
mark.
is so red. Andre Drummond in Houston throws it
Well,
5-6 rows deep.
Why didn't you just dunk that?
I don't know. But I like the usher here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice pass.
Good throw.
Russell Westbrook didn't get a triple-double in this game, but he got a rebound on this. Just like that.
Look at
Gotta
that
turn
core
it.
work he did there.
What a weird play. Oh, nice catch, though.
Basketball. It's weird.
Kevin Durant returned this weekend. Steph Curry was pretty happy. There he is in the tunnel creeping.
Wow, he must have got so many likes for this.
80-some now.
This is phenomenal. Coaches pulling their hair out when the Washington Wizards couldn't convert a 3-on-0 fast break off Kelly Oubre's arm. From John Wall. Gives it away there. What we're not showing you is that they got the ball back and John Wall hit a 3, but TV editing.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Hassan Whiteside accidentally tips it into his own basket.
He scored more than the Wizards. Not really.
On that play?
More for the Wizards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Spencer Dinwiddie off Trevor Booker's noggin to Archie Goodwin.
Man.
For the basket. An incredible pass. Does he get an assist on that one? Oh, look at that. Hey, good one.
It is wild. It's great to have Lance Stevenson back in our lives. Hits the 3 in Orlando, and he's gonna dance. He's gonna dance. Miles Turner also gonna dance skip. You put them together, and the Pacers got a great dance team.
Why is this a whoopsie? That's great.
Because we were desperate.
Yeah, we were. Torian Prince blows a dunk. He had a great weekend for the Atlanta Hawks. Unfortunately, this.
This goes back to like 10th row.
Yeah. You were there. Did you catch it?
I nearly did.
And same game. Kyrie Irving, I think, sums up the Cavs weekend pretty well here.
Just chuck it.
Just
That's
throwing the
great.
ball to absolutely no one. Cavs, one of those weekends, losing twice to the Hawks. Weekend whoopsies. Final break here when we return. Lely's very solid play. You're watching The Starters, presented by Jack Daniels, Tennessee Honey. Tonight's pick and play, it's the Wizards and Pistons on League Pass. Trey, Task, and myself like Detroit. Lee, the only one, 0-4, the only one taking the Wizards, so you need this win. April's always a weird month when it comes to the pick and payoff, and we always keep it simple. It's the Mrs. Doubtfire payoff. You just get a pie to the face. That'll be Wednesday. We only have like 3 nights here. Two nights, really, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah.
If the Pistons lose tonight, you're still in it, Lee.
Yeah.
But if the Wizards lose, you're done.
Yeah.
You're taking a pie.
All right, Lee, VSP.
Heading down to the Fortress for this absolute beauty from the Cavs. Pump fake parties. There's ball fizzing around. A little bit fancy. It ends with a swish bomb. That's what I call a very solid play.
Great stuff, Lily. I misspoke, by the way. Wizards Pistons on TNT tonight, not on League Pass, followed by the Rockets and the Clippers. Tomorrow, we got the Twitter show. Join us live at 11 a.m. Eastern. We're going to make our all-NBA picks. We were talking about whether or not Lillard could make it, but we're going to pick first, second, third team all-NBA on tomorrow's show. And the Starties this Friday, hosted by Kristen Ledlow.
Thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, Ernie Johnson's Unscripted is available for purchase and for you to enjoy.
Brace the night, people.